Check, check, check. Hey there, that is gonna race here. So probably you weren't listening to anything, but this is just a lap for my practice, sharing with you, Bill, and with the rest of the road if they want to see it. Not an amazing lap, but a good one. I've seen better, but this gives you a reference. So first of all, I always start the lap before the lap start, actually on the lap ending. That's pretty important one here. So coming up, let me actually put the inputs. I'll leave with the inputs here so you can see the braking. Uh, but here is your full throttle, fourth gear, then fifth gear. Then the car will allow you to shift to 6, but I stay in 5th because it keeps, the RPMs high and helps with the engine braking here because we're not gonna brake much. It's just a little tap. I actually brake too much here. don't need to brake that much, but a little tap, go like 60%, and then immediately come back. But it's just a tap. It's a very quick thing. I probably hold a little bit higher than 60%, so lost a little bit of time. But you don't need to brake that much. But little tap, you get that curve there on the inside here. Just kiss it, don't go over it too much because you'll be back on the throttle, full throttle. The car will make that turn and hit that wall. If you put the 6th gear, the car will understeer and you're gonna find yourself in that wall because the engine braking won't brake the car as much. So this will give you a good lap start. Coming here, I use the 200 board as a reference point, just a little bit right on it. I start the braking, brake hard, but immediately lift because the car will go into a little descent here, so you lose compression. If you keep that high pressure in the brakes, you will lock up. Again, I wouldn't brake that much. I was braking more here because the track is super humid and I was trying to find myself here, but usually don't need to brake that strong. But immediately starts to trail brake, 4th gear, and you're gonna kiss here. You see the curb here, you have kind of two parts. You have a lower part and you have a higher part. Don't go with the car on the higher part. You will go pretty much just on the lower part there and put the 4th gear and start on the gas earlier. See, I didn't even hit the apex and I'm already back on the throttle. That gives you the car will rotate. You can abuse a little bit of track limits here. You can go all the way to the outside with one of the wheels. And as long as you come back before that white stripe on the left of the orange and red curb. And then this will give you a good exit. And then you carry all that speed, getting a lot of time on this spark track. So carrying as much speed as possible there is super important because this is a huge climb, and you must carry as much power and speed as possible. So here is the so feared bus stop. So there's two ways to do it. There's the crazy fast way, and there's the safe, I just want to survive way, which is not that much slower, but it's a little bit. But depending on the situation, or your tires are worn out or the tires are cold, I first take the safe approach. When I need to be more aggressive and I know the car can handle, then I take the more aggressive approach. What we're gonna do here is gonna start braking here. I take this 300 board, or that little orange mark on the fence on the left, or that white line on the floor, because I can see the white line no matter what side of the track I am. So good reference points for braking there. So I start braking there, just like 50%, 60% braking for just a little while, trail brake, and then this is the crazy way. You see how close I am from the fence there, so I'm pretty much cutting it. The whole car is on the right side of that curve. Here's the trick part about this approach. If you miss this by a narrow margin to the right, you're gonna hit the fence, the guardrail. if you But even worse than that is that if you miss it a little bit to the left, your car will jump and you end up on that wall there in the back. So you need to practice this to take this line. If you don't feel safe doing that, go all the way to the left, put just the right tires just a little bit on that curb, on the left side of that curb. You will just need to carry a little bit less speed. Then you can put the fifth gear and go full throttle. In this case, the track was a little humid. I didn't get a little, so I had to lift a little bit, but I was able to immediately go back into the throttle there. Let's go fast. So that's why I lifted a little bit. I felt like the car was tracking out, but usually the car that came back stable. But if you feel the car tracking out, lift, bring the car back, and back on the throttle. Here you can go a little bit wider than I did here. I actually usually go a little bit more to the left and immediately come to the right. Just a little bit of braking, see, not much, so the front of the car turn in, and you are very close to this curb here on the inside. As soon as I pass that part of the curb that is a little bigger, I start back on the throttle, using all the way to the track there. Then here I use this gray piece of concrete on the right, or if I am on the left, kind of those bushes there, but it's difficult to see on the left. But here it's pretty easy, and you can see it from both sides of the track. So here's where I hit the brakes. People brake and they start to turn too much here. That's when you lose the car. So brake a little bit as straight line as possible, and then as you start to turn in, you trail brake. As you see the car pointing to the apex there, it's a late apex, then you can come back full throttle. This one, you can see that I was braking very late. Usually I brake earlier than this, but you can brake late on this corner because it's a big climb on that turn, so the compression will give you a lot of grip in the tire. So you brake hard and you need to start to trail brake, and then as you cross the middle of the turn, or you're about to hit this late apex here, see, I didn't hit the apex in the middle of the turn. It's a hairpin, so you use this late apex. I will hit it here and start to slowly come back. Again, try to carry as much power as possible. Then here the reference point is this second board, the 200 board. You cannot read the 200 there, but it's the second black board on the left. Again, hard braking at the beginning, but it's another little descent. You cannot see that well the the pitch change, but it's there. So if you keep on that braking too high, you lock up. So start to trail brake third gear, and as soon as you, a little bit before you hit the apex here, you can go back to the throttle. The car will go, you can abuse the track limits here. The only trick when you're doing this, see how my wheel is almost straight at this point. If you are still turning the wheel when you go back on the throttle and the car is going through that curve, you will spin out. So make sure you are keeping the balance of the car. You can abuse the track limits there. You won't get a 1x or slow down. Here my reference point is these trees here on the right, or the grass kind of change colors here on the right. So I brake third gear, and you can hit this apex here on the left. I try to use as much track as possible. I lost a little bit of time there because I misshifted. I took too long to put the third gear. I stayed in fourth for too long. And then again here, full throttle, keep the fifth gear, like I said, keep the RPMs high. Just a tap on the brake. See, now here I did it right. I didn't brake too strong. See, out of 50%, quick tap on the brake, and you can have a pretty good corner exit. This was a 127.45. You know, I see people doing 127s, even 126.9 here. So this was a good lap. Not the fastest, but a good one for you for practice. Pace wise into the race, probably going to be on the 128s, 129, depending on the traffic. But this is for like a qualifying lap. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.